Oh, good morning. Sorry, a little late. Had some dad duties this morning, but today we are going to get into some stock market analysis for the SPY Qs, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, and Meta going forward. Looking at AMC and GME as well. And today, what are we noticing? Lower prices for GME. We'll see what happens with that. AMC, lower prices for AMC. Waiting for these 30 minutes to curl up. We told you they gotta curl up early on in the day in order to see some positivity out there, okay? That you cannot keep rolling down in negative territory. That is not a good sign if they keep doing so. So make sure to manage your risk. That's a big portion of this. And one of the ones that we're going to have to make sure to manage your risk on was you better bet you hoped you managed your risk right here when we posted this on Patreon. Yes, we gave the trade setup. Good pullback. Now I want to say, oh, look at that, curling up. We want to make sure to manage our risk right here. Boom, new high for Palantir. Very good there. Now, the other one I wanted to talk about was Nvidia this morning. Nvidia, am I muted? Okay, let me make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, good. Sorry, I'm a little bit loud, or a little bit late here. Nvidia, what are we noticing here? Well, the 2-hour divergence is still intact here, so we're going to pay attention to this throughout the day. Where's the crash? Well, we're still in the uptick, right? So we're still in the bubble. We're forming the bubble, and this is kind of how you know you're in the bubble, right? You have stocks across the board that have seen major drops, and one of them would be this. So this is how you know you're in a bubble too. Like if you look at Intel, well, what's Intel done, since the low here? And these can catch back up, but you would say, what are stocks like this doing? Well, this is going down 42% over the last few months. And what do we notice about, things like Nvidia and all these bigger stocks, right? Nvidia, or Microsoft, Google, what is it, Apple, but I believe it's Nvidia, Microsoft, and Apple are the three stocks that make up about 40% of the entire stock market right now. So it's kind of a, what is it? It's like, what is it, dominoes? It's kind of like dominoes, and these are the big ones that have to fall to really end it. They're going to be the last ones to fall. That's usually what happens here, but that doesn't mean we don't trade based on that, right? We have to trade based on the signals right now. The signal for Nvidia showing a triple divergence on the 2-hour, moving slightly sideways. We'll see if there's another push higher. If so, I will manage that risk. But good morning, welcome to the live stream. Hope everyone's having a good day out there. Are we seeing anything crazy besides GME and AMC breaking down further? While some institutions are taking calls, AMD breaking down further, interesting there. Then we have, I remember looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin really still seeing some weakness here, trying to taper out a bunch of times, but still struggling to really gain some ground here. So the daily for Bitcoin actually was able to roll negative, so that is not a good sign. You really don't want to remain in negative territory long because you can see the selling start to ramp up. We'll talk about that. And then you have Ethereum, which is starting to go negative as well. So not very good things looking out there. XLU, I did notice this one gap down towards that weekly expected move. So this here could catch a bounce. We'll see if this is able to catch a bounce down by that weekly expected move. Looks like we're trying to hold up at it right now. Amazon looked pretty positive, right? This one looked like there was some steam left in it, and it turns right back around. So maybe this is some kind of pullback. We'll have to see as of yesterday, but honestly, I'm still optimistic about the future. Yeah, it's fine to be optimistic. It's fine to, it's fine to, if you understand it more, if you understand the problems going on in the stock market, then you shouldn't be really worried. Now, these things are very hard to short. These are the last, chips to fall. So you just want to be like, maybe I want to be very careful with this. I want to manage my risk very closely here. So that's what I'll be doing. And right now it's still looking pretty good to me. It's not saying any upside just yet, but I can see if I want to weasel into this. If this 30 minutes starts to curl up, I might have to put another position in the future. I think options expiration, usually a lot of the time we'll see options expiration start to really cause things to fade after options expiration. It's actually the next week after. So there's like trillions of dollars on the line for Friday, and you need to be aware of that. But right now, what are we noticing from the SPY? Well, it's dipping down to lower levels. We got a pretty good range in here today, and the 30-minute has not crossed over. That's a key thing. The 30-minute has not crossed over for the Qs either, so we'll pay attention to those going forward. Apple, this is about to cross over. We'll see. I remember saying at the beginning of last stream, double top looks very likely here. If you some Japanese mayo breakfast sandwich to GME. Yeah, they need to eat some. Today we have a turkey egg bagel. Look at that. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to eat a little bit real quick, but hopefully some people got some good trades going on today. Tesla. Tesla. No, no, no. What are you doing? Look at this on a daily scale. It was able to turn up on the daily. That is interesting. Is that really going to be a huge fake out? That's ridiculous. I mean, Jesus, that is crazy. But weekly expected move is right there, so we shouldn't be too surprised by that, right? We talked about that yesterday as well. So what was one? It was SMCI that I thought was behaving very funny and had a solid divergence up here. Look at that divergence right outside of the zone. Thought that was very cool to see. Retail's handing money to Musk. Yeah, I know. It's like, please, rich guy, take my money before the market crashes and stuff. Nvidia's revenues are, I gotta find the clip, guys. Their revenues, I don't even think they're that, like, I don't even think they're real. And then Apple's just like buyback after buyback and debt. And then Microsoft's just buyback after buyback and debt. So it's just like nothing is real in the market right now, it seems. Like none of the profits in the market seem very real to me. You know it's a bad sign when so like the CEO is like hyping you up all the time. It's like, keep the stock high. I do like me a good bagel sandwich. Well, it's hard to say one more. It's hard to say one more, but what I think ends up happening, guys, I do think we get some kind of pullback. I don't know if it'll happen right now, right? I have to see if that pullback ever comes, but I think we see some kind of pullback and we go like maybe daily scale. We maybe go back to the 20 for a second. You see how the last pullback, what did we do? Well, we went to the 20. We tried to go to the 50. I think we do something like that. And then we see another upward run, or there's kind of two options. I still believe there will be one more upward run, unless this thing just tumbles down. If AMC and GME tumbles it down, okay. But right now I would say this looks like the scenario, possibly. Maybe not from right here though, right? It's anywhere in here. Anytime we see weakness, that's when I think we go down to that 20. We see that bounce back up, and then we see this happen. Now the other scenario is we see a more dramatic downfall, and then we go like way up over time, and then that feeds into the election, and you get that September, October, November time. But that's all speculation. There's like almost nothing to prove that. The only reason I'm thinking that is like because the daily is way up here, so if you turn up any time, you're gonna see an upward push. So I would think this leading to this would make a lot of sense, especially if we cut 550 short. If we cut 550 short, I think that would be interesting because there's probably a good amount of selling there at a solid number, 5,500, 550. And then so if this would turn down, turn back up, well, then we could say maybe sometime near August or something like that. But if it's more dramatic to the downside, takes a little bit more time, that would make some sense, and that would lead you into September. And I think that's where, you know, that's where a lot of the crashes start to happen. So that fall time, you know. Qs are negative today. Interesting. But the best part about this is like, this is why I said it in the videos. This is the best support and resistance you can ever have on your chart. It really is. This is exactly what the options market is pricing in. So like this is great because we're the people that know about this, right? We calculate this. I was looking at another person's expected move. Their expected move was like 549. And I thought that was interesting. A different YouTuber had it at 549, and I was like, oh, well, technically ours is actually performing a little bit better. It's showing the resistance right when you get above it. His wasn't touched yet, so I thought that was interesting. I kind of just wonder all the time when people use expected moves. I'm like, how are they calculating it slightly different? It's probably the timing of when they're doing implied volatility. I'm out of GME. It's a joke. Well, you know, this is where it's like the emotions get to people. So we had a CEO that didn't say anything about forward guidance. Is that why you're upset? The man? Is that why you're upset because you didn't get forward guidance? Like you didn't get, he's going to invest $4 billion into X and Y companies. Is that why you're a little upset? Oh, I'm always talking about crashes. Yeah, for the last about 30 days, I've been talking about crashes. A little? Okay, so let me tell you something. So if they would have told you, the traders, if they would have told their shareholders what they were going to do with the 4 billion, if they would have announced a merger, if they would have announced a acquisition, if they would have announced any of that, they would have been caught in illegal activity. So what is bad about what they said in the shareholder meeting? They said, we're not here to pump a stock. That's a good thing. That means they're not trying to pump and dump you. And then two, they're saying we're going to get to work and do the moves that we need to do early on to progress forward. I don't see that as bad at all. I think that's exactly what I would want to hear from the top guy, because the top guy, if his attitude is that, then the bottom guy should have the same attitude, and I like that. Now the dilution of shares, you could say so, but that's what's good for the company. And if you actually take the correct calculation of the company with that cash on hand now, the company actually the stock price should be at around $70. People are like, oh, it's sold off. Well, so did AMC. And AMC had the best weekend they've had in all of 2024. And the CEO came out and said that he was very confident in it, and he thinks he's seeing more traction to the movie theaters, and he thinks movies are going to be successful, and blah blah blah. And you have the actors strikes and things like that hopefully would be coming to an end. I don't know if they already are, but he's like, a lot of movies weren't being produced either. I was like, so the reason that this is, that this is just some kind of short selling problem is because, well, GME, even if this was disappointment, first of all, the volume in this, there's no way this was retail. First of all, there's no way that was retail. Second of all, why is AMC selling off on good news, great news over the weekend, actually great news over the weekend because of GME? Yeah, it's because they're suppressing the stock. You know what game you're in. Most likely you're upset because you're trying to do an option, but your option told you right here for even AMC, hey, don't take an option to the upside, right? That's what the MACD is telling you. GME right here said, hey, no reason for upside ever since this bar right here, especially if you go negative right there. So this is why I'm trying to encourage people to just like learn the skill and then just like do things based on your own decisions. Stop reading everything on Twitter. And the other part to that is, if you expect something, the market maker expects something as well. And the market maker does have more money than you, right? So the market maker will win if something expected is there. I put out a tweet yesterday and I just said, the unexpected is your friend. If you expect it, they expect it. So if you expect a good reaction, they will expect a good reaction. Therefore, they will suppress the stock. They will halt it. They will do all the sketchy stuff. The unexpected is your friend. That's why I'm glad Roaring Kitty isn't posting that much. I think that means he's doing something right now. And maybe he does my plan. I went through what I would do if I was Roaring Kitty, and I just wrote down over the weekend what I would do. I'm not going to share that here in case some weird shill is in here. I know that we get a lot of random spammers and things like that these days, it feels like. Not really spammers, just some people that come in and just hate on things for no reason. So it's just fishy to me. And so I'm not even going to say what I would do, but I think he's doing it this week. I think the fact that he's quiet, I think that he's doing what I'm thinking I would do if I was trying to bring this problem to light, which is a very simple strategy, actually. It's very, very simple. And we'll see. We'll see. NVIDIA, that one here, just the starting to bounce. So the 30-minute going to cross up. We'll see what happens here. See if that can go a little bit higher. The upside move for NVIDIA this week is like around 140-ish. So you could have NVIDIA go all the way up to 140. But I'll be scaling into a long put position. Take a very far out date. Ah, the Netherlands, the big orange. Morning, my friend. What's up, Waz? It's probably because the price dropped. So when the price was at like 10, they opened up more option availability. for $22 when it was up towards 10 and 11. So they opened up the options chain a little bit bigger. But once it goes down to 5, now they say, well, it hasn't popped up enough, so they're not creating that yet. But if you see a pop up to probably like $10 again, you'll see them pop up again. I keep hearing different prices. Is the price of AMC now not real? Well, the point is people are talking about that in dark pools. Apparently in the dark pool data, that's why you're seeing little shoot ups even on GME. And this is the same for AMC. You're seeing shoot ups. Apparently in dark pools, you know, AMC and GME are trading at higher levels. I take that with a grain of salt because the people who are posting those things are very bullish for AMC, very bullish for GME. I'm just going to pay attention to the signals. This week, this is what we pointed out yesterday live. Okay, I'm going to tell you this about AMC. This is what we pointed out yesterday live. This was when there was wonky behavior, and then we turned down. Okay, look at the MACD. Wonky behavior turns down. Now, this is what I mentioned yesterday. You have the same wonky behavior right here. Same wonky behavior, turn down. So this did not surprise me whatsoever. The 2-hour did not cross up yesterday. It was not crossed up yesterday. This was on Friday. It curled down. That means the direction is still, I would say, going negative, but it was pullback. Now it's negative. If that crosses up, that's when I'll reapply the position. That's it. I'm still holding other positions, but the one I'm trading back and forth, out on Friday, back into this week if the 2 hours able to curl up. That's it. The resistance line on NVIDIA. So the main resistance you have to pay attention to is right around 140 and then right around 125. That's where you really want to pay attention for the short term. The long term, it's going to be this area right here where you broke out from, right around 95.50. So like we could even draw that up right now. You just go boop right there. You can put that as important. It's green. It's important. So that right there looks like that would be a very solid pullback, right? That would be a big pullback. So I don't think that happens right away. I think most likely we see this if it's going to see some kind of crash behavior, because this thing is like the whole stock market right now. This and 2 other stocks are the whole stock market right now. I would just say this will probably be the first support once we start to turn down dramatically. But right now, I think like we have a chance to do this. At some point, right? Not saying right now. I'm still scaling into that position. I'm just paying attention to the signals. Boom, we do that. We get something like this, some kind of double top or something. Ugh. But all you have to do is look. Okay. Here's what we do. Okay, if the market is so strong and NVIDIA and 2 other stocks aren't holding the entire thing up right now, right? If the market is so strong, then why are utilities weakening? Okay, utilities are weakening. Okay, so that's not strength. What about financials? Well, that's not looking like strength. Hey, maybe we get a breakout soon, but that's not looking like strength just yet. Okay, let's look at energy. Let's see if that's rolling over. Well, that doesn't look like strength. There's really no strength in this whatsoever, and maybe when we see a reaction back into energy or some kind of flight to safety in some way, that would be interesting to see. TLT, we're seeing that boom up. So if everyone's saying, hey, this market is so bullish, well, technically you would say, hey, you know, TLT, maybe that does want to go up as those rates come down, but they're holding the rates higher and TLT is going higher. So that's interesting as well. It looks like a little bit of flight to safety and kind of uncertain times at these levels, but this can drag out for a lot of time. This can drag out for a long time, guys. And we talk about that all the time. I was just excited because I go, you don't see this often, and this looks like an opportunity. That's going to need to lay off the steam, like, right? It's going to need to back off a little bit, in my opinion, at least some kind of curling down. But we'll see if that actually happens. We could head all the way up to here first. We could squeeze above these levels. That's what happens. So you have to be aware of how you can be hurt. But as of right now, this level is holding. This is as high up as the option market was supposed to go. We're seeing some big put volume come in, actually, right? That hasn't... Did that open up yet? Yeah, that opened up. Okay, so now we're seeing a bunch of puts come in. So what can happen? Well, we could see that turn up, but you know, it just depends on how much money they've made so far. Dollar's starting to back off a little bit here. So if we start to see breadth come into the market, you can see this thing squeeze even higher. I think it is pretty unlikely to see just like a major amount of breadth come back in the market, in my opinion. But has this curled over? Nope. See how chill you can be when like something doesn't curl over? You're just like, oh, okay. I think the future of GME is if the problem, the difference is if the problem actually gets exposed, like say in the next year, I think the future will be if this exposes the problem, then it'll be priced at where it's supposed to over time. Yeah, as far as fundamentally, I don't know what they're planning. I don't know if they're planning on keeping a gaming business. If they're going to become a holdings company, I did read some stuff that they put out that said they are looking into acquisitions and merging. So that would tell me either they have a plan to kind of change their business plan by buying certain companies, or they're going to be possibly a holding company that also has still the gaming store to keep people happy. I think that would be cool. That's why they maybe minimize the amount of stores. I think that'd be cool, but technically, if you just calculate everything, you calculate the cash they have, they should be trading somewhere between like $60 to $80, I think, somewhere in here. So I think eventually they come back down to about $60 to $80. They're a regular company. We just have to see what the future holds. But that's if, I mean, now if short sellers are able to fight the company, it's going to be very difficult for short sellers to make this stock go down, by the way, just so you know. Like GME is going, I don't think you understand. I think he's a very good CEO. You realize like he's one of the most profitable guys that's ever traded Apple. Like he's one of the top holders of Apple. Like he's not a dumb guy. And what he's saying is just not what you want to hear. You need to understand, like I have built my own business, like multiple times. Like I've built my own app. I've run my own app. I've run all of it. Being a hard worker is one of the best things you need at the top level, right? Being an innovative person at the top level, being a hard worker, keeping people on task, cutting costs, those are all very, very high level business things to do. It's just for you, maybe as a retail investor, you don't necessarily like to hear that. You want to hear, hey, I want this to go up right now. What's the merger? What are you doing with the 4 billion? What are you doing with this? He's like, no, we need to actually fix the structure of the business first and get to work first. And then we're going to do that once we're organized. It's kind of like the whole, you can't fix someone else's house until your own house is in order. Like if your friend's not going to call you up if he go to help clean his house if your house is just a mess, right? So he's trying to make his house good, and then he can reach out and go clean up other messes, maybe acquire some companies. Now, the only thing I didn't like about it was the whole, like, why are we talking about genders and crap? I just think there's no place for gender and crap. I don't care if you call yourself a squirrel. I do not care, as long as you're a good worker and you get the job done and that type of attitude doesn't distract the business. I don't care. That's the only thing that I was like that's annoying. It's like, I don't care if you're a guy or a girl. Are you good at your job? I don't care if you're a monkey. Are you good at your job? Like that's just, yeah. All right. Sorry, food in my mouth. My bad. Like one of the main things I had to do when I was running my business was cut costs. That's like one of the biggest parts of business. You know, half of software engineers' job is just to cut costs, make a system work better so it costs less money to function. That's like half of what computer science and software engineers do. And that's a very important job. Thursday was another go long VIX day. Yeah, the only problem is the SPY hasn't really backed off too much. So if you go too early in the VIX play, that's why I'm kind of being patient. I got out of the play, right? So I was gonna do it again down here, but for some reason I was like, I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I did there, did I? No, because I did back here. But here, now you're seeing maybe head and shoulders set up, actually. Kind of weird there, but I'm still waiting for things to like dramatically go back to positive. You see how the 2 hour is able to curl over. I'm waiting for this to get really close to the center line. This one here was like, hey, an opportunity. We didn't see the pullback in the SPY really. So now we can see this turn down and then turn back up. Maybe just with options expiration, you'll just see some selling into the end of June maybe, but we'll have to see. We have to actually see if things are proving. Like this is very weird behavior for a 2 hour chart. Quack, thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Sorry if I get your guys' names wrong. My bad. The Dow trying to turn up, turning back down. 30-minute rolling up. We'll see if that's going to stay positive. That would be a pretty good sign for the Dow, but this is kind of just trickling up. I just hate that look. It just looks like a squeeze. It looks like buying for no reason. That's what that usually means. It means buying for no reason. And I don't like that look. You use NVIDIA to day trade? Well, it's been like, ever since what? October, it was just buy calls for a week, wait for a 2% pullback, buy calls for a week. But I'm telling you right now, like, the sentiment in the market will be, people feel like there's going to be a big drop, right? Maybe everyone's sentiment is they feel like there's going to be a big drop, but the important thing to do there is, I don't care how they feel, I don't care what they think, I care what they're doing. And most people will think they're doing really well if they're just buying a call like every day. If they're just buying into the market every single day, it'll go up until it doesn't. And I'm just telling you right now, the last dominoes to fall are going to be these stocks up here. It's going to be, Amazon's already down, right? So it's going to be like NVIDIA, it's going to be your Microsofts, it's going to be your Googles. These things are going to start in Netflix. All of these things will start to fall down eventually, but they can keep the party going as much as they like. Now, you need to know this too, because I did this morning. I kind of this morning just like sat down. I sat down and I was just like, you know, I am bearish overall. I think there is going to be a big crash. Now, am I bearish in the current price action? No. But I think that there's going to be a big crash, like massive. Like it might take us 5 to 10 years to get out of like 2008 or something like that, or 2000. So maybe worse than that. So what was I thinking? I just sat down, I didn't look at charts, I didn't look at anything, and I just thought for a second. I go, okay, these three stocks are just going up and up and up. And all the other stocks I'm looking at are like Intel and other things like that. I'm just like, they're dropping. They've already dropped. And I go, what was my thesis back in 2020 with this type of stuff? You know, things starting to fall. What was my thesis back in 2022 when stuff started to see weakness early? And I go, well, there were still a few stocks holding the market up. And I go, oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, it's a domino effect. I just had to remind myself, like, I'm not crazy. It's just a domino effect. And we've already seen a lot of the little guys fall. We've seen some medium guys fall. Now we're going to see the just below the high guys probably fall. And then we'll see the high guys fall. But it's so hard to time that. And so the other thing you have to think of is this. The higher up the market goes, based on these three stocks, the worse the crash will be later on. So however long they want to drag it out, that's perfectly fine with me. And till then, I will trade the price action and maybe even take some bullish trades. Who knows? I was still taking bullish trades here. I still took one bullish trade here. It's not like I'm crazy and just trying to short it here, 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 short it here. No, I'm like, okay, boom. Okay, this is where we said short squeeze is there. If we get above this high, okay, short squeeze happens. I take calls. All right, we dip down. I see this curl up. I go, okay, calls. Like I'm not doing it like a psychopath. I'm just keeping that in the back of my mind. And now I'm seeing a 30-minute divergence, which just tells me pullback. It does not tell me crash on a 2-hour chart. It does not tell me crash yet. So that's why I'm saying right now, I think that we maybe see some kind of pullback soon. And then we see that head back up, maybe going on into July a little bit. And then once fall comes around, things start to tear down. So I might be right in saying there is some kind of top in June in the next 30 days, right? So in June, but I might be wrong in saying that that's the top, right? And I'm perfectly fine with being wrong. Nothing wrong with being wrong. There's only something wrong if you're not willing to be wrong. That made no sense. Yes, Kiyu, the investing part will be put out soon. I pretty much, I have it written out. I just had Father's Day, so I wasn't able to like, I have my notes written out, but I wasn't able to sit down and film it because I was out with family like the whole day. We went to a baseball game. It was fun. Oh no, we don't like to hear lose a lot of money. It's okay. We're putting out an investment video, so if these shorter time frames are tearing you up, it's very hard to short the market. I've said this so many times with Nvidia. Like, this thing is going to be very difficult to short. That's why you might be like, oh, but you're going to short it now. Yeah, now I see a 2-hour divergence, triple divergence. But am I going to throw the house at this to try to make a bunch of money? No. No, I'm not. If I see a big move down from Nvidia, I'll make plenty of money. So I'm just going to do small positions. Managing risk. If I think that this thing will see some kind of dramatic drop soon, then why would I bet a bunch of money and try to get rich quick? No, I'll just use less money and make a little bit. Yeah, Sabrina, I just read that. I was trying to look at what you were saying. Ew, that's kind of creepy. Probably, maybe he's an Epstein guy, who knows? I mean, the thing is, we know that Nancy Pelosi and all these politicians who definitely, all these politicians are in NVIDIA, right? So if all of them are in it and they're trying to get him on their team, they're going to be like, here's some good stuff. Here's a child. Freaking creep. But the negative thoughts are much. I'm sorry about that, Kevin. These are not crash calls. Like, notice this. Whenever I say NVIDIA has this, what do I immediately say after? I'm not trying to call anything. I'm showing you the indicators and how they move up and down, by the way. So here is what is going on, Kevin, and I'm being genuine here. You need to pay attention to the second part. This here is, hey, a 2-hour divergence just crossed over, and I say multiple times, do not short in a market like this, right? I say do not short. It's very, very difficult. I say wait till a clear signal is there. And then I immediately after go, now if this curls up on a 30-minute, it's not the moment. Right? I always say two sides to the coin because I know that there's always a way up and there's always a way down. But I am sorry that happened to you. I'm not like trying to shout you out or anything like that. Like, trust me, I feel for you. But at the same time, we need to pay attention to our risk. We need to pay attention to this market is rigged. So trading in it is very, difficult, right? I haven't even been trading it. Like, I've been holding GME and AMC for the last week and I'm chilling. I think I took like one trade last week and I broke even. And guess what? The one trade that I gave on Patreon, it worked out. This is what you want to see. This is a great drop from the curl over right here. Dink, all the way down to there. That's 4.5%. You do that option correct, that's an easy double of your money right there. Never curled back up. It curled back up. I even posted to Patreon and said, hey, manage your risk. This is curling back up. We could see something happen to the upside here. We see something happen to the upside. So I'm not going to go with that in any way. I am one of the only YouTubers that really says like, yes, this can go up, this can go down. If you want someone that tries to tell you exactly what to do, technically I'm just teaching you how to read these indicators and showing you good setups. You have to know how to manage the trade. So at the same time, meet Kevin, he'll tell you to buy stuff. He'll literally tell you, this is a great investment for a 10x. And then guess what? It's down 99%. 99%. If you shorted anything in here, right, then you should know right away, this right here was just a pullback. This right here didn't have divergence. This right here is still positive. There's nothing too short in here. There's no reason. This is a pullback. This is still a pullback. This is a time pullback. Do you know what a time pullback is? It's where you just move sideways. It's where you just move sideways. These are pullbacks, technically, by the way. These are technically pullbacks. They are pullbacks with time. This is why you should not be reaching out to anyone to try to place your buys for you. If you're struggling this hard or anything like that, just invest. I'll put it out there for you because investing is a lot easier. We talked about investing multiple times. If you're not good at trading, you can admit it to yourself and it's perfectly fine. Nobody is hating on you for, not being the best trader. We want you to be successful in some way. Right there said monthly investment. Right there, you're up in that area. Right here for NVIDIA, it said monthly investment. Right here, you're up 800%. So it's just like, I feel for you and I'm trying to get you to realize like, I pay attention to everything I say, not just the part that you think will make you a bunch of money, because I'm not trying to make you a bunch of money. I'm not. Now, if that is the end thing that ends up happening after you learn from me, that's great. That's great. That's great. And I appreciate you saying you love my work. And I really do want to help you. I do. I don't want to like try to say anything to you that's like bad. I just want you to pay attention to what's actually being said, because I see it a lot in the past few weeks. A lot of people trying to short NVIDIA all the time. A lot of people trying to short the market at every single bounce. And I'm like, nothing's proven, right? Just because there's one 30-minute divergence, okay, this was maybe a rejection divergence here. Guess what? It curled back up into positive territory right here. This bar right here told you this is probably going to go up from here. It goes up from here. This curls down. You might say rejection divergence on this little wick right here. Okay, it comes down and it curls up right here. That means positivity is going to be there. This is like very, very simple behavior here. Yes, but how could it go up and down? That's like saying, I know the price of an apple can go up and down, but how could it go up and down? How could it go up and down? These signals are telling you how. And if you guys don't, I mean, if a lot of people think this is hurting them in trading and they're not able to follow what I'm saying, then I'll close down the channel because it's not being helpful, and that's perfectly fine with me. I'm sorry about that, Kevin. I really am. Like, I 100% feel for you. And what I would just say is, like, maybe we look at investing over time, right? I am telling you this too. Work hard, and I know that's hard, like someone just telling you work hard or something like that, but like, I think that there will be an opportunity for much lower prices, but that could take 5 to 10 years to play out. I've said that multiple times. I was like, I think NVIDIA goes down to maybe 95, but that could take a whole year to play out, right? You want the Japanese mayo. But no, I'm being genuine too. If I'm not explaining things correctly and people aren't able to understand it correctly, this channel is to help. I'm not addicted to the likes. I'm not addicted to the views. I'm not addicted to anything. I don't need to. I'm just like, I would really like this to be a job that I could do instead of my other one. My second, third job, whatever. Like, that's all. But if it's not helpful, then that's the whole goal for this channel. So it makes me sad to hear those things, you know? But this is, I would say, bigger time frames for a lot of people would help. Bigger time frames for a lot of people would help. Yeah, we can look at silver real quick. Bums me out. I don't want to hear that from any of my people. That's bums me out. Silver, we have a bunch of divergence here. I would just see if the daily is able to roll up. That would be a good confirmation. See how we're beating down to the center line? Roll up. Okay. If that rolls down in this area on a 2-hour, then you can see another dip down, right? So if the 2-hour kind of, because it's a little bit still, let's just trickling up, not really positive, goes up here, then it turns down. Okay, that's not going to be the moment. If this 2-hour turns down, you know, that's not going to, the daily cannot roll up if the 2 hours rolling down. But if the 2 hours is able to go positive, you just want to see, is that daily able to really cross through? And then you're most likely going to see, you know, because that 2 hours is going to have a lot of overboughtness to it, you might need to pull down for a second and then pop right back up. So I would have said that the best timing on this was probably, weirdly enough, right here, and you're getting the same price right now. That's not bad. I'll turn into a mukbang investing channel. I already told you, if the market like crashes dramatically, I'll probably just turn into an investing channel. Yeah, so you're dealing with a very bullish market. Well, a very bullish market for a couple of stocks. Who isn't comfortable with puts and calls or shorts? It is really hard for me to filter out some upside moves if the market goes up and I'm losing money. Yeah, so it's very difficult to short, especially these type of stocks, right? So what would be a, like the ones I pay attention to are very, very difficult right now because you're in a bubble. Like you're in a bubble, which means a bubble just expands until it pops, right? Oh yeah, Landon brought up hymns. I really liked this. This is one I really like. That's a good point. You can see some stuff like this. Okay, so right now we see 2 hour. We have triple divergence going across. But what is happening as of right now? We're seeing another wonky move up. So did the 30-minute cross up? Yes, it did. Okay, so maybe I need this to be a little cleaner. Maybe I look on the hourly. If that hourly curls up, hey, maybe I want to go for it. But look at this. It is just squeezing and squeezing. So maybe this says, hey, I'm trying to catch a top. Maybe I need to take out a way longer position. Maybe I need to, you know, slowly get into that or something. But it's also very difficult to short things. The market goes up 75% of the time. In all of history, the market has gone up 75% of the time. So that would tell me it's very, very difficult to actually short the market for big moves down. It is. That's why I say bear markets are great. They are not green. Oh, they are green. Well, GME is almost green. Okay, green. But yeah, hymns, I do actually like that one. So let me look at this. Wasn't this one like, was that just gonna be a daily rollover? Yeah, so you see how it's screaming higher. So you're gonna see a bunch of divergences in this thing, right? But what you wanna really see in this type of move is you wanna see it get very close to the center line. I'm talking about this. I wanna see a divergence that looks like this. Boom, right there. So I know that has a very good probability. This one, not very good. This one right here, a little bit better. This one right here, same. So that one's turning back up. If this would just go boop, boop, then I might see something like this, or I would rather it back off first to get lower to the center line, first of all. That's the hard part is I'd really like this to keep going like this for a second and then turn up, because that would allow it to get closer to the center line. But I'm looking for very obvious plays. That's why Palantir, we warned you about it going back up. Because even Palantir, you see it screaming higher. That 2 hour divergence was there, but look how far away it is. This is why I overall said manage the risk on Patreon, and I posted the picture of it curling up on a 30-minute. I said, manage your risk. I can't tell you what to do, but you should probably risk manage right now. Right there. That's a little far, right? 30-minute. We were a little close, but curled right back up, and it's still close to positive territory right there. This is where I posted that right there. I said right here, great setup. I said right here, manage risk. Did I say buy or sell? No, I did not. You got to learn about your indicators. I feel like I'm chewing into the mic, and that's yucky. Now for AMC and GME, first of all, we need a 30-minute to curl up. 30-minute hasn't told us upside yet. Why is my phone just vibrating out the ass right now? 30-minute has to curl up. That's the first goal. First step. The daily's already positive. That's a good thing. But we need to get through our first step, which is we need some kind of momentum on the shorter time frames to go positive. What is going on my phone? Someone's called me or something like twice. But I don't care. AMD, I can't believe that turned down. Look at that. See this? Look how you have all this flatness, all these divergences that are so close to the center. It still fails. Look how that still fails. This is the market is very difficult on the shorter time frames. Now, here's what I would say. if you're having a hard time with things and maybe you just want to take like easy, I don't know, 3-month out call options in the future, and notice I say call options. Well, I'm going to show you those type of plays. All right, I'll show you those type of plays here. So the SPY, if you go up to a daily chart and all you do is this, and you go, okay, this right here is divergence to the upside. That's very important. Not divergence to the downside. This is divergence for upside. Remember, the market most of the time goes up. 75% of the time it goes up. So right here, this would tell me, okay, I got that. I got like flatness here on the MACD. I got flatness down here on the RSI. Okay, can I draw that? There you go, flatness on the RSI. That pops up. That says, hey, maybe the weakness and momentum is there. This right here was your opportunity. Say that closes above the 5 or the 5 or something like that. There's actually 2-hour divergence in here too. That's how I found the position. But if you just took it on the cross, let's see what would have happened. Okay, let's say you did a 3-month out, a 6-month out option. Let's see about 3 months. Let's look a little shorter term. All right, that was 30 days. That was 2 months, right around here. That was about 2 months. Well, let's go a little further. Let's go 3 months. So in 3 months, we're up 13%. The daily chart is so much easier. Just gonna say that. But I respect you guys want to try the shorter time frames. I'm just saying you got to learn for a while, and it's kind of like playing in a YMCA league versus playing in, say, the pros or something like that, okay? Or say a higher league, okay? The daily time frames are very simple and easy, and people think that the first thing you should do is jump into the shorter time frames. No, what if you just got really, really good at the bigger time frames for like 1 to 5 years, made decent money, and then you were like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. Let me try these 2-hour plays. You know, it's like practicing. Why would you practice on the hardest difficulty? It's like, do you buy a video game that you've never played before and never played any game like it, and then you just go and you put it on X Games mode? Hell no. The Dell. Oh, did I just type? Okay. The Dell. Woo! That's a move. Yeah, this is where you create that little cup, right? Nah, it's probably violated right here, but this is where you want to pile up. Woo! We're pumping another stock today. I wonder if there's any signals for this. Because on the 30-minute, you got nothing. You got nothing. This is why you don't short like little pullbacks, anything like that. Let's see a 2-hour. Ooh, 2-hour never crossed back over. See, this is what we're talking about with if there's going to be positivity. Well, sometimes I can just go wham. That's fine. That happened right here. Very, very V-shaped once it actually got some ground in here. But what we were talking about was look for that to roll up towards the center line and curl back down. All right, let's see if that ever played out for this. Let's see. Oh, look, it did. Right here. All right, so you notice this. We come down dramatically. All right, we roll up to the center line and curl back down. What happened from right here? Actually, it was this. Where's their little red bar? There it is. Right there. Well, we saw a downward move. From there, now you say divergence. Boom, divergence is there. Okay, positive. We go right on the center line for a while. Now we're going positive territory. Very good move. Daily able to roll up? Ooh, daily gonna roll up here. That'd be crazy. That is a huge move for Dell. Look at that huge gap down too. My God, Dell, what are you doing, man? It's like GameStop as well. So GameStop, once again, you got to curl up on this 30-minute. You don't curl up and go positive on a 30-minute, then you're not going to see upward price action. That's like kind of the first thing you need. Brave souls. The longer time frames make sense with so many bubbles. Yes, actually. Yes. Longer time frames make way more sense than the shorter time frames. You get way less crazy things. Like, okay, someone pick a random stock. Pick a stock that's been around for a little bit. Here, you asked, Junkles. Give me a random stock that's been around for a good amount of time. Give me a random stock that's been around for a bit of time. I want Junkles to do it. Okay, let's see. Is this GitLab? Okay, has that been around a long time, guys? Hold on. Needs to be around longer than that. Longer than that. Let's try Disney. Let's see Disney. All right, let's do the biggest time frame we can. Now let's see, where did crazy stuff happen? On the monthly scale, you're going to most likely see one divergence, that's it. Maybe sometimes you'll get like a wonky price up, but anytime this thing curls up, look at the monthly scale. Okay, let's start all the way back here. Let's learn for a little bit about the bigger time frames. All the way back here. So let's say after this pullback right here, I said, okay, right here is confirming upside. All right, so I'm gonna say the MACD is telling me here, go long. Okay, cool. Positive territory, curling up, awesome. Now let's say, when would I sell it? Well, if I know about Bollinger Bands at all, let's say I don't know about Bollinger Bands at all. Let's say I don't know about Bollinger Bands at all. If I just make, maybe I just say, hey, I wanna make, I don't know, I wanna make 30% in the next 12 months. So I'm gonna hold this for at least a year. All right, I hold it for a year. That bar right there is 365 on the dot. That was lucky. That's 51%. I only wanted to make 30. I made 51. I go, okay, I'm happy. I don't get greedy. I don't get anything. And then this thing turns down. So now you know a little bit more. Maybe you studied a little bit. Now you know about the MACD. You see this turns down. You're like, wow, I am glad I got out of that because this momentum indicator told me it's going down. Hey, the price is going up though. Oh, but my MACD is not saying it should go up. My MACD never confirmed it goes up. So, oh wait, it went down again. Awesome. There's probably weekly divergence here as well, by the way, something we'll talk about in the course in the investing video. And right here, it curls up. You say, that's kind of a bad bar, but I like my MACD. It treats me pretty well, right? So I'm gonna buy it right here. All right, that's a price point of 33.60. Now let's say, hey, maybe I'm gonna get lucky again and make 50%. Never went to 50% again. All right, so at this time, you need to learn a little bit more still. You need to be like, okay, well, we tried to match the high, there's divergence. Oh, there's a divergence that's forming. If this has weakness up towards this high, now I know about divergences. This is very easy to see and it takes a long time to form. So if I say, hey, there's divergences forming, I've already made, say, 20%. Okay, maybe I take some off the table. Oh, we saw something bad happen, even though I had half my money still in it. Right here, I should say, okay, maybe I shouldn't be in this anymore. My MACD is saying, yeah, the momentum's way down, right? Now, in my course, I'm gonna teach you how to manage the risk so you're out earlier, right? But as of right now, you saw a divergence. What happened after the divergence? After it completed, right? Even after it completed on this bar, what happened? Well, sure, we got a little bounce, but did that ever cross back up? No, it didn't. And we went all the way down for 2 years by 54%. Do you see how like much easier this is though? Like this is like, oh, this isn't like happening in one day. This is like building up over months and you don't have to watch it every day. You're just like, okay, let me make sure this MACD is still curled up. Okay, cool. Now, what happened at the low here? Well, one, just by looking at it, I'm gonna bet you there's a weekly divergence there. So maybe you get a little bit better. Maybe at this point you're like, I wanna get a little bit better. I wanna get a little bit better price than just buying when this thing curls up or something like that. So you research weekly divergences and you see weekly divergence and you go, okay, when this thing does confirm momentum, it's going to be good. Maybe I take a little scale in early, but I overall say, hey, when this is the main thing I'm paying attention to at the 200 on the monthly, I say, okay, go, go, go. Right there, you're like, I'm gonna be a bullish contrarian guy for now. Okay, now I'm gonna hold that for another year and see what happens. What happened over the next year from this buy point right here? Maybe you wanted to buy on this green bar since it was above the 200. Let's see, a full year, 365, you made 22% if you held that for a year. Even with the downturn, you just never wanna get greedy. 22% in a full year is freaking awesome. Your bank can never do that. Then it turned down and it curled back up right here, right? It turned down and you said, okay, this turned down. So now it popped back up, this bar right here. Let's say we did it again. All right, let's say it goes all the way up. We'll take it to the cross again. What happened? Did it cross on the green bar? It did. Okay, we crossed on the green bar. There it is, another 20% in a year and a half. Imagine making 20% on all of your money. Let's say, like, let's just do this. I'll do this real quick. Since we're learning today. I like learning because the market sucks anyway. It's so boring. It just goes up barely every single day. So let's do a little function here. We need $10,000. All right. We have a 1.20. Let's say you make 20% every year. We'll give that because sometimes you'll make more, right? That we said we made 50% once. All right, 20% per year. And we'll say this equals this times, oh, that's double times this. Enter. Okay, so the first year you made $2,000. Let's do this. Equals this minus your initial investment. All right. And this would be equals this times this. Go. All right. So now all this should populate. Awesome. All right, we populated it. Look how good we are at Excel. How many years do you want to go? Let's go. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Now, why is that not like it? Oh, because these need to pull down. There we go. All right, so if you did this strategy for 10 years, and let's just say you make an average of about 20% per 10 years, per year. Now that's difficult to do in a bearish market, but it's very easy to do when the market is bullish. And I'm telling you right now, I think that this, and you would have been in this move too, by the way. Look at that move. Did that ever curl back over? That'd have been a great year for you. It would have been more than 20%. Okay, so according to this, if you would make that, if you would have just traded Disney back and forth and made little 20% every single time that this MACD rolled up, every single time, you didn't have to pay attention to anything else really. All you had to do is say, I'm gonna see the MACD roll up on the monthly and take it when it hits 20% every single time. That's all you had to say. There's not a lot of, now that's technical analysis. I go way deeper than that when I'm trying to make profit. But if you just said that to yourself about Disney, you would have made over 10 years, $52,000, $51,917.36 in 10 years. If you would have kept reapplying that same money over time. That's it. Investing can be easier. So the point that you guys are trying to do the shorter time frames is you're trying to make money faster. And the reason you're trying to make money faster is because the market has already done all this. So you're getting baited in by all of this, right? Where if you were looking at this back in, say, when I was born, 92, and you just traded the monthly and took your little 20% every single time that curled up, well, right here, you might not have wanted to take that 20%, right? You might want to let some ride, you know? But let's say you just took the 20% here and then you waited 20%, 20%. There's 10 20% in here from 92 to now. That's an extra $60,000. I'm sure that would help you out a lot, even right now. So that's all I'm saying. It's way simpler than we give it credit for. This is how you make money the slow way, the easiest way, the slow way. The slow way is the fast way. You hear me say that all the time. The slow way is the fast way. The slow way is the fast way. We picked a pretty random stock, Disney. I never look at really at Disney. I don't look at it very often. And we said, okay, that curled up. Awesome. Let's see what happened on the last curl up. Even in this terrible, terrible move down, let's see what happened on the last curl up. Right here. Did you hit that 20% mark? Did you? Did you? Did you? You did. Now, you have to know that it's a good stock, right? You have to be like Disney, it's a big stock, but a lot of people would say, hey, Disney was huge in the 90s. Huge. Huge in the 90s. And guess what? Yeah, you're right. It probably did have a weekly divergence right here. It probably did. Let's go look. Look at that. Bunch of wonk. See how it's wonkier? Right when you go into a weekly, look how it's wonkier. It's wonkier on the weekly. Wonkier on the weekly. Much harder. Much harder. Much harder. Right on a weekly. Give me another. I'm down. It's just got to be a decently big stock. But we're just applying things that we're learning just much more simply because the time frame is much bigger. And I know a lot of, see, the fact that we had 220 people in here when I'm doing the shorter time frames and 50 people leave, when I say this is why they take your guys' money. This is why they take your guys' money, is that right there. Is MSTR, I don't know if that's been around long enough. Has it? I actually don't know. Ooh. Now this one here, you'd have to say, is it a good company, right? Because this is some wonky behavior. But let's go, what? Because it's only, see, I like things that have been around for since the 90s, mostly, like the early 90s. Let's go here. All right, let's say I started looking at stocks here and I just go, okay, monthly MACD turns up, that's positivity. Let's see what happens. Right here. Wow. Let's say you just wanted to make 20% every time. Okay, you made that in a month. Let's say a full year goes by. Let's say a full year, even with this drop. Where'd that bar go? There it is. I think it's actually a green bar on the 365 right there. 37%. And guess what? It never even curled over. So you might not even be convinced out of that yet. And then, oops, sorry. And then from that level, you see 180%. I think you should take profit if you make 100% on any investment. That's what I do with my my options trades, right? I say that in the course. I take it. Okay. Now let's take this one here, just curled up. Like I said, it's much easier to trade upside. Have I ever talked about trading the downside? Here. No, I always talk about it as a patience play. Time to be patient. Time to be patient. Time to be patient in here, right? Okay, that curls up. Let's do 365. 365, 29% this time. Only 29%. It's a good gain. And then maybe if you just sell out every year and you see this go up, you go, that MACD, now I'm chasing the move. Okay. Oh, well, look, a pullback. Okay, cool. Pullback. Oh, we got a fake out. Oh, we got a fake out. So what does this tell me here? Well, I got to look at my stocks every week, but what does this tell me right here? Right here, I was told upside. Right here, I was told, hey, we're still positive and crossed up. Right here, I was told get out of the play. What was that loss? Sometimes you're going to have a loss. You're a trader. You're still investing. 6%. Nice. MACD told me 6% down. Awesome. But I just made 29. I just made 100. All right, now that beats down, that beats down, that beats down. Okay, what about right here? Right here is going to be a difficult one on your emotions, isn't it? Because you bought right here. And then it curled over here. That's going to be a loss. That's going to be a loss, isn't it? But you already made money on this move, right? That's going to be a loss. So let's take the cross up. All right, right here, the cross down was right here. Ooh, that's going to be a rough one, right? 16%. But you already made 100%. You already made 30%. And then, if you know just a little bit more, maybe you've been learning throughout this time about divergence. Maybe you've been learning at this time about momentum, about the RSI and things like that, about all those things. And you just say, okay, this is divergence, isn't it? Look at that. That's divergence. That means a big move can come. A bigger move can come to the upside if I'm able to go positive, because it'll really reverse that trend. The momentum died out. So see, once you add divergence in, what happens? Ooh, God, that looks like a good trade, doesn't it? Right here. Boom. Let's just do the yearly hold. Let's do the yearly hold. Where's 365? There's 365. Boom. 276% in a year. Oh, look, that dipped down. Oh, wait, it crossed up right here. Momentum saying upside. Interesting. Maybe I should look into this. It's been very good. It's seen some huge runs. A lot of people saying that tech is booming right now, and I see the MACD turn up. Let me hold that for a year. Let me see where we're at. Ooh, we're right at the year right here. This is where you'd be selling, right? Because you're only holding it for a year. According to your strategy that we just made up of this fake person, they only want to hold it for a year. 323%. Wow. Interesting. Bitcoin, you can do probably the same thing with Bitcoin. If we get 6 rate cuts this year, then something's going to break in the system. Like, something has broken in the system. Let's take a peek at AMC and GME actually going positive. We'll look at that in a second. Let's do Bitcoin real quick. People like Bitcoin. Wow. Crazy, huh? Weird. Weird how it looks pretty simple. Now, there was some wonkiness in here, you would say, in here, but that wouldn't chop you up too much because you're just going to lose little percentages, right? So let's go all the way back. Let's go way back. Let's go way back to before Bitcoin was like just when it started. Let's see what happened when we finally, we kind of missed this one. We didn't have any data for it. Okay. What about this one here? Ooh, this one here. Oh, I buy it. Ooh, that might be a big loss. That might be a big loss, right? 35%. We know this is a speculative thing at this time. This is a speculative thing. But maybe for my risk management, I say, yeah, I get out. Maybe I just save some money until this thing turns back up. Oh, it turned back up. Okay. Oh, it turned back down on the next bar. Okay, I lose 8%. Okay, then that turns back up again right here. And notice that this time, you did not lose confidence in your indicator. And you said, I know that eventually if this thing is important, I know it's speculative. Okay, 400%. Okay, now let's say we held for 365 days. This guy likes to hold for 365 days. Boom, right there. 256% in a year. Perfect. Awesome. Now that curled down. I know not to go into that. I know not to chase. Yeah, this thing, I don't get excited by the gains. I made 250, 200, whatever percent. Okay, that curls down right here. It curled up. Did it ever curl back down? No, it didn't. So I say, okay, I believe in my indicator, and I am making 150% in 275 days. How far did that last? I'm a guy that likes to hold for a year, according to our fake person. He likes to hold for a year. So where are we at right now? Ooh, we actually have another month left, but if that comes down to maybe here by the next month, let's just say it goes lower. All right, you still make 83%. That's a great return for a year. I'm just telling you, the monthly scale is easier. Okay, let's get back into the shorter time frames for a little bit, guys. We got to see if we're turning up on a 30-minute here for GME and AMC. They look like they might want to. I'm seeing a lot of wicks, though. No, they're doing higher for longer. So in history, higher for longer has always led to a crash. No, it doesn't happen right away sometimes. Sometimes it's if they have to cut dramatically. So when you said 6 rate cuts by the end of the year, that would be cutting pretty dramatically in 6 months, right? So I would believe in the next 6 months, if they started cutting like right now, today, if they started cutting right now and they just started to cut rates multiple times, most of the time they cut rates multiple times, all at the same time once they hold higher for longer. And then you have about 6 to 18 months before you see something really bad happen. But see, look at the shorter time frames. What do we see? Wow, this is a lot harder, isn't it? A lot less room to the upside a lot of the time with these 30 minutes, but for GME, pretty good. So we just need a 30-minute to curl up to convince us. But look, it's wonky. It's always going to convince you otherwise. The monthly is just a lot more clear. And you won't get beat up if you're wrong. You won't get as beat up because you're not doing an option or anything like that. But if I see divergence on a monthly, shit, I'm holding that bad boy. All right, GME here, not looking like it's popping up just yet. AMC looking a little bit closer to crossing, but still seeing some resistance. Could be a retest to actually head lower. Someone asked to see the Qs real quick. What are we noticing about the Qs? Yeah, they're starting to cross over on this MACD. But does this look like dramatic selling? This looks pretty controlled still, so we'll pay attention to that. Let's compare it to the SPY real quick, see how controlled it is. Very, very controlled in here. So we want to look across the board and say, Apple, what's that doing? It's confirming some downside here, still controlled a little bit, right? It stopped the bleeding. So that's important to see. Is it turning over the 2 hour? That 2 hour just rejected that crossing. So you would say downside is the most likely for a pullback right now on the 2 hour. If that changes, I have to change my thinking. If this 30-minute curls up, that means that 2 hour is not going to keep dropping, right? As far as it goes, the other one to watch is probably NVIDIA. And look at that thing. It's trying to pop up right now. We'll see if it's able to. We'll see if it's able to, because as of right now, the 2 hour is trying to cross back up as well. It's crossing down. It's saying pullback still. It's saying pullback still. You got 40 minutes left in the bar. You probably have about 30, 40 more minutes to cross up on this MACD before we see a direction, right? On the next bar, we're most likely going to see a rejection or some kind of crossing up. That would mean positive territory. Good stuff. Fundamentals never beat technicals. Go watch Meet Kevin. And it's because nobody knows, like, I mean, the fundamentals worked back with like someone like Warren Buffett. They worked back then, but ever since we have the debt standard, it just overall can trick you a lot of the time. But fundamentals can be a good thing, but as far as taking a trade goes, they could just be lying to you like they did to me. That's why I don't do fundamentals. But I would say this, if you're, maybe you're better than me at fundamentals. That's possible. That's possible. What if you're better than me at fundamentals? And that makes you a good trader. That's perfectly fine. Now, I'm a true believer because of my past. I'm going to believe this because of my past. That technicals are the way to go. They seem much simpler. I don't have to do a ton of research. All I have to do is understand the indicators very, very well and then say, hey, that monthly turns up, I can invest, right? Cut and paste into the Patreon. You like that, Dave? That's the investing video. That's the investing video, but we're less loose with it. We're very loose with it here, but that's the investing video that's going on the course. And I'm going to show you how to do better things on the weekly because you guys have been here enough. If you've been here enough and you take that full course, you're going to understand the smaller time frames thing I'm saying. The smaller time frames are really just to throw you in the deep end. And then I'm going to say, okay, we threw you in the deep end. Now swim over to the shallow end for a little bit. Let's do some longer out times here. Let's invest. You can do what? I mean, technically trading the Qs, you could just trade a popular tech stock. That would be a form of doing that. There's TQQQ if you want some leverage there. I mean, even TQQQ, by the way. By the way, we just did monthlies. Look at this. I want you to see this. I want you to see this, guys. You want to see monthlies on TQQQ? Okay, look at this. TQQQ crossed up here. Yeah, okay, in the course, we're going to teach you manage the risk and then get back in, right? We're going to teach you that. So you don't lose all of this. You just lose a little bit. But what would this say for our person who wanted to, let's take it, you know, because I don't think is there a full year here? There might be a full year here. Yeah, June to June. So June to now, pretty much. So 365, our person for the full year would have made 88% on TQQQ. You can do these on the leveraged ones too. You're just going to get beat up and have to watch it a little bit closer in times like this. But notice when it crossed up right here. Awesome. What a run. Let's do just a year again. 365. Boom. 159%. TQQQ, you can do the same thing. Other ones would be just, I would say, tech stocks in general in there. You could trade the what, NQ futures, things like that. I was seeing if you could. I don't think you can. I wish you could just trade the NYSE. This is from back in the day. Look at my drawings from back in the day. You know they're yellow. This is when I was just trading by myself. You know I traded TQQQ back in the day. Look at me following the downtrend, seeing that violate, seeing the retest, and then starting to scale in at my 1826 level. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool, right? You guys get to see my past trades when you look at stuff like this. I'm monitoring all of it. I'm catching the bounces. I have a bunch of little time frame stuff in here. There was where, if you saw, I had a triangle built right here for the small breakout. I had a triangle built here for the pullback down. Oh gosh. I really loved trading when things were dropping dramatically. I loved it. So this is starting to turn back to green. See how it's turned back to green? So we'll see what happens with this going forward. So there's a crash. Why not build that money into stocks that already look like beating Boeing? Because those stocks actually drop even more in a crash a lot of the time. Now they can see a build back up. They can. They definitely can. But let's look at it from the investment perspective, because now we've seen a significant drop, right? We've seen a significant drop. What is stopping this from continuing to drop for months to come? What's stopping this from dropping for months to come? That's the overall thing with that. Let's take Boeing, right? Let's say Boeing. Okay, the last crash that happened, what ended up happening here? Okay, we crossed over right here with divergence at the high. Awesome, we cross there. All right, what happens for a long time? Well, around here, you might say, oh, Boeing already backed off. Then Boeing backed off a lot more. See how that's scaled up? See how that's scaled up? Things can really start to scale up on a lot of stocks. So this thing's just been they have not been a very good company for the last few years, honestly. All their planes are crashing. Yeah, so I think that there will be. I think it'll be something more like the 2000. So if you go to the SPY, you look at 2000. Where's 2000? Like right around here. I think we see something like this where it's like, okay, we get to here, then maybe we build back up, we get to here. And I actually think maybe we don't even build back up. I think we might just do this, see some kind of bounce up like this and do it again and see something like that happen. But during this time, what happened in the overall market? Okay, we lost 50% there. We went up into 2008, and then we saw 50% there. So as long as we remain in a debt system, this type of stuff will happen where you'll still hit the next level. But I just want you to notice how to beat this high over here, it took, how many years did that take? Or how many, I think it took, so you beat it right here. It took, oh God, what is that? 10 years, 12 years, right? Is that 12 years? No, that's about 11 years. It took 11 years to fix that. I think we're going to see something like that, if I'm being totally honest. I think we're just going to see this thing bleed, but I think we'll see more of a bear market type thing. But I think it'll take a long time. That's just a thought though, guys. That's just a thought, right? Am I trading based on that? No. Now, on my monthly thing that we just did, is the SPY a good buy? I want you guys to tell me if you think that the SPY is a good investment right now or not, based on everything we just talked about. Now, I just proved it to you. Do you think this is where you want to be getting in? Thank you. See, once I break it down in a video for you very quick, even this one was quicker. We're going to go way more in detail in the course, right? This would say, don't chase it. I don't care if this goes to $1 million. This says, don't chase it. So I'm not going to chase it. If they take it to $1 million, that just means we're going to have hyperinflation. If they take this to say 1,000 on the SPY, that just means we have hyperinflation in society. That the economy is going to be trash. You're going to be paying $1,000 for a Big Mac. Okay, maybe not 1,000. Maybe like $60 for a Big Mac. So if you want good things for people in America, which our current people in power, I will say, our current people in power, what does everyone always call them? The deep state does not want people in power. They want to keep their power. No, so what you're doing is by watching this all the time, you're going to suffer a lot more. Notice the whole time we did those monthly charts, do you think that person was really freaking out ever? Do you think they ever were freaking out? They're just like, oh, cool, markets go up. I know that's so bullish because we're in a debt system. If they just knew, like, we're in a debt system and that's going to grow everything exponentially, we have inflation 2% per year. So most of the time, things are going to go up. That's all you had to know and be like, all right, now monthly chart curls up, I go. This is why I was disappointed that that video over the weekend didn't get a lot of views, because I was like, this is what can actually help you. Now, McDonald's looks way wonkier, doesn't it? So if I saw a stock like this at this time, would I trust it? If I saw a stock that looked like this, would I trust it? Or would I trust something else a little bit more? Disney looked a little bit cleaner, didn't it? So would I trust this too much? You still probably could have. It still probably would work, but I think that this would look very wonky to me, right? Now it's starting to close below a monthly 50. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. But maybe you were someone that was like, I just want to find things that are great opportunities. I eat McDonald's all the time. Okay, back here you said, all right, I'm going to buy this for the long run. Damn. Damn. That's nice. Buying McDonald's at $24. Well, you just, back from 2003 and 20 years, you have officially, even to now, 10x'd your money. Well, if you're not seeing exhaustion, then you need to pay attention to breadth too, because you got things like XLU, XLE, XLF, what is it? IYR? Real estate. All these things show that they're not doing well. Now, the scenario is either all of these start to catch up and Nvidia just keeps going and Apple keeps going, or so it's pretty much, do thousands of stocks start to go up, or do 3 stocks start to go down? Do you know what I'm saying? Do thousands of stocks at the same time go up, or do 3 stocks go down? And that's what you're kind of trying to figure out right now. Because I can tell you, if thousands of stocks start to go up all at the same time, this thing easily could just go to like 700. It could just rocket to 700 if all those things catch a bid right now. At the same time, it could just rocket ship to 700 over the next like 12 months. So I'm saying on my channel, I believe the 3 stocks are going to come down soon. It feels a lot easier to knock over 3 dominoes than to lift up 2,000 of them. Imagine going and picking up 2,000 dominoes and trying to set them up in a row. Very difficult. Now imagine trying to knock over 3 of them. Much easier. All right, cool. So we got some learning in today that, like, you know, we're learning every day, but that was a little bit different. I like that. What are we noticing from the SPY? Yeah, it's starting to look like it wants to cross over. We'll see if that momentum has anything to say about it, but we know that markets like to go up all the time. 30-minute time frames are going to be a lot more difficult. Right away, after seeing all that, you may look at this 30-minute chart and see it just go up and be wonky and this and that and be like, screw that. Oh, man. I'm really liking the monthly side of things. If only I would have learned this stuff when I was 3 years old. Dang it. What was my dad doing back then? Teaching me soccer? God, idiot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think it will go up with the first rate cut, but I think at the rate they're going now, I don't think they give a first rate cut. I think they cut all at once. I think we have 63 banks that are insolvent by $517 billion or something like that. We have debt that our interest alone is about to be $1 trillion on the debt for our interest payments. Just the interest is going to cost almost $1 trillion. That's why you have BlackRock trying to come out and trying to kind of change the infrastructure. A lot of people talking about infrastructure changes that could really shake things up. Look, whole market red, SPY green, because Nvidia, because Netflix. Wow, interesting. 2 stocks, 2 freaking stocks, 2 stocks. If those 2 stocks were red today, do you know what happened with the SPY? The SPY would be down. We have seen 1 2 to 4% down day in the last like year and a half. That just does not happen a lot. Yeah, I like it depends on the time frame. So if you're doing shorter time frames, I actually think if you're doing shorter time frames, MACD and weekly ranges are the 2 most important things that you need to have, right? Because the MACD can show you divergence and things like that. I think those 2 alone would really help you. Once you get to the bigger time frames, like say a daily or something like that, that's more so, and I guess RSI would be included in the short. The bigger time frames, you want to see more of your moving averages become important. Pretty much on the daily side, a little bit of everything becomes important, like the moving averages. You'll notice that with the shorter time frames, I don't have to pay too much attention to the moving averages, but I'll show you what I do on my other charts. If I want to pay attention closer to the moving averages, like if I'm trying to be very diligent with stuff, I'll put this on a 9. And do you see how we're starting to close below the 9? So we close below the 9 right here. I see the divergence form. It's a form of entry, but this would have to be below the 200 here, even with my strategy, for this to work. Okay, so what you want to more look for is like swings. You see this swing right here? This swing right here closed above the 9. So the 9 allows for you to see momentum going up a little bit better, and you'll see the crossing of the MACD at the same time. Sometimes you'll cross above the 9 first, and you'll say, okay, if it crosses above the 9, it's got some power behind it. Okay, that's going to run before this even crossed, right? So you caught this like an hour earlier. That's what I do, especially in a bear market, but you have to do it to the bullish side above the 200. If you're below the 200, you can start to do it like this, like below the 200. You see how this crossed over right here? Right here on this bar. Technically, the bar before it would help me out with a 9 moving average. Is GME and AMC running free? Let's go see. Let's go see. AMC, look at that. They see how these closed above the 9 first, and now it's above the 200 on this bar. So this bar closed above the 9, but it's not above the 200. This bar is, which tells me there's a high likelihood of crossing on the MACD. Okay, boom, it crosses on the MACD on the next bar. Isn't that cool? Not the SPY. I'm more so looking at NVIDIA. I'm going to scale into a position with NVIDIA that's way longer out, but I'm seeing that cross up on the MACD, so I'm ready to scale. Smaller positions will be fine in this. I'm not trying to make $1 million, right? I'm just trying to make a quick little 100% and be like, thank you for my money. That's all I'm doing. GME, this one as well. You'll see how it's closing above the 9. So this means, hey, if this bar right here is, I would say this bar is already hinting it. If you get another one for more confirmation, the only problem here is you're not above your 30 on the 200. So this is where trading can get very complicated. This is what I do. It's a lot more dug in than just watching a MACD cross, right? But you want to make sure you're above this 200 first, and then you see all this stuff happening. You see that cross up. Pretty much it's like you add divergences in and weekly ranges in to swing trading. That's what I've done to the upside lately, and it's worked pretty well. I haven't been doing it lately just because I think the market could crash at like literally any minute. So you see the divergence here, kind of flatness on the RSI. Okay, so this bar right here told me, yeah, that's a good chance that we start to cross over on this MACD. This one confirmed it even more, and now we're crossing on the MACD on the next bar. So this one right here on the 9 told you, hey, the MACD might get crossed right here. It's just a good way to look at it, but it's very difficult to do, guys, on the 30-minute. Like, this took me probably a full year to get really good at for downside plays, because the problem with this here is you're above a 200 on the 30-minute. So that means that you could still see buyers come in at any time because you're above that 200. We literally could see buyers come in at any time. Here, 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 go across right here. It's like right here we could see them come in right at that 200. So you want to do it more when it's below it. But for an entry, you would say maybe like here, these bars right here kind of told you, hey, upside potential right there on the MACD. So AMC right now, look at that. See how it helps you a little bit? So this is overall how I do things way more diligent is just, hey, if that crosses up above both of these, it's above the 200, is above this, that has a good potential to cross up the 30-minute MACD. Now that doesn't have divergence beneath it or anything like that. So these plays you have to be more cautious with. MBIO. What's MBIO? A Mustang buyout. Oh, what the frick? Is that a short squeeze? Sheesh. Nothing really to do here. You could probably look on the daily scale, see if this is still an opportunity. You're overbought on a daily scale. This would be chasing at this point. Could you have gotten into this? Is there any signals here? Not really. Yeah, not really. You would say the bar above this maybe, but that's a hard one. We'll leave a 9-day moving average up, or a 9 up right now. So like even here for Apple, we crossed on this bar, but this bar kind of hinted that there was going to be weakness because it was able to close below the 9, not a 5, a 9. So that kind of hints like, hey, this MACD is more going to cross because you use a 9 smoothing. So that's why the 9 is kind of pretty when using the MACD. Pump and dump. Which one? What's pump and dumping right now? Meta? Meta is definitely a pump and dump. I agree. Meta is definitely a pump and dump. Look at it on the daily scale. Look at this. Actually, no. Look at it on monthly scale. This is a pump and dump. Yeah, I'd say that's a pump and dump. Pump, dump, dump, pump. Yeah, that is a pump and dump. I agree, 100%. NBIO is, yeah, it seems like maybe there's a short squeeze problem, I don't know, but I wouldn't trust it too much. Meta, you see crossing over right here, but you got to hit the bar before, right here at 503. Yeah, the bar stayed the same. Yeah, the bar stayed the same, and then you see the downward pressure. That's how the 9 helps out, but you're above the 200, so it's a little more difficult. You want to have divergence. You had divergence. It's great. Great look there. GME, are we starting to see some, getting some weakness again. Not able to cross up yet. Not able to cross up yet. See, this is where it's like more difficult because what? You're below the 200. Notice that AMC is above the 200 on this bar. Very easy, very simple. GME below the 200. Not as easy, not as simple. Good sign though. Soundhound, I think my dad's like obsessed with this one. Or at least he told me about it. Ugh, not a good look though, my God. Yeah, pointing down, negative territory, dropping off a cliff. You're still above the 200, you could gain ground at any time, but that's not pretty. Now you need to like close back above that 9 on a daily, right? You need this to turn around. You're likely just heading for that 200 here. Negative territory. When did it tell you? Right here, you had a good shot of doing that. Close beneath the 9. And if you even look on the daily scale here for a sell point, it's like here it closed beneath the 9, here it closed above. But eventually, when we started closing below the 9, like over time, you notice that we start to cross over the MACD. So these were hints, and all these bars here were hints of weakness. It's hard to see. So usually waiting for this to cross. Now you say, okay, downside is the most likely move. Okay, one fake out, boom, heads down. Never crossed back up. So AMC and GME, they're still crossed down on their MACDs in a pullback, by the way. AMC looks stronger than GME because it's right at that 200 on the 30. I don't mind Soundhound, it's just it doesn't look pretty right now. Soundhound, they're an AI thing. I know they're AI because my dad told me about it. Except I'm pretty sure they told me about it like at the top, of course. Like everyone always talks. One thing I thought was funny, I actually haven't watched, do you guys watch that Maverick guy? Maverick of Wall Street, whatever. I actually watched one of his videos because I haven't watched him in a long time. I wanted to see what he said, and I was just kind of like clicking through, looking for points, and I caught this one point where he said, he's talked about the stripper indicator. He talked about this stripper indicator. He goes, you know that stocks are gonna dump when strippers start talking about it and buying stocks. And I was like, do we have a stripper indicator? Like, has anyone ever made one? Let me see here. Stripper. Dang it. Shoot. That'd have been sick. Oh, we got our intermittent fasters in here now. The fasting buddies. They're like, you want to eat today? No, I don't. You just gotta see if, let's see SMCI. So like this one here, boom, you see how it crossed up on the MACD here? This gets you in a little bit earlier, right? You wanna see when it's very close to crossing, you wanna take that bar. So this one here would be more where I'm like, okay, pretty confident on that one, 854, boom, good upside. That's just swing trading above the 200 on a short time frame. 60 SPY puts, 547, 0 DTE. I mean, these bars right here are saying we're closing below the 9. The 9's starting to flatten out, so that's good. But you need that 9 to really start to point down. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm praying for you. What are people doing? Yeah, calls are coming in too. You might be on the right side of that. We'll see. We'll see, because your MACD hasn't fully crossed yet, but we were talking about the 9. The 9's kind of telling you, hey, there's some weakness here. Does the Fed speak today? Let's find out. I don't think so. Don't we have like, there's some Fed speakers. Fed Collins, Fed Kugler, Fed Logan, Fed Musalem, Fed Goolsby. A lot of Fed speakers. Tomorrow, is the market closed tomorrow? Someone keeps saying the market's closed tomorrow. Is it? I can't remember. Yeah, it's closed tomorrow. Thought I saw a bug for a second. I hate the bugs. Building permits, Philly Fed employment. Ooh, Philly Fed employment. Interesting. Housing starts, initial jobless claims. Fed barking at 3. Flash PMI on Friday. That's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot going on. I think the main things you got to see are, is Nvidia actually going to cross on this MACD? That's what I'm watching on my other screen a little bit, by the way. Is this on a 5 or a? Let's do it on a 9 from now on. Let's switch it to a 9. See if we can catch the quicker swings. Catch it a little early. So it looks like, according to my 9, the SPY is most potential to cross here as of right now. As long as it remains below that 9 before the crossing, it looks decent. TLT able to hold up. The Dow still above, yeah, it's all above the 200 though, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. So on the SPY, right, it's above the 200. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. If it's closing below this, yeah, it can cross, it can lead it, but it just might be for some minor pullback. So you got to pay attention to that. You're above the 200, so that means more and more bullishness. Once you start to break below this, then you see downtrends, right? You close below the 9, boom, down. Over here, right here, close below the 9, boom, down. Go above the 200, close below the 200 and the 9, boom, down. All these swings below the 200, down right after, try to go up, cross for a sec, down right after. This was very choppy though, this was hard to do. This is like very hard price action to do that with, like swings to the downside. See what happens with this guy. Qs. Already crossed, got a hint to that, but still above the 200, so we should expect some kind of bounce at any time because we're above the 200. Unless we see something crazy today, we'll see something crazy. That'd be cool. I'm down to see something crazy if this 2-hour can roll over. That would be something crazy happening. If the 2-hour rolls over here, you got something crazy happening. Apple confirming it again on the 2-hour. That crossed here above the 200 here. Sorry, that was a big yawn. AMC still holding strong. That 2-hour can gain some steam. That'd be great. All right, you got 10 minutes. You need this to close like this. If that can close like this and remain above that 200 and remain above the 9, that's a solid look for AMC right now. Solid. Let's look at my fun play. You guys want to look at my fun play? This thing's going terribly. Bought this like, what? On Friday? This is where I bought. This is my fun play. 30-minute. You got a divergence forming right now, weirdly enough. Good old fun plays. So 30-minute divergence here. You got divergence between here, divergence across the way, divergence this way as well. So multiple divergences here. Not a bad look. If that can gain some steam, that's the thing. It has to cross up. So like, since we're below the 200, I would wait for confirmation on the MACD personally. That's what I do. Gotta wait for the confirmations. Ah, that's a strong move. Has it gotten halted yet? Oh, that's only 2.85%. You're good. The SPY does not want to drop below your 547. What's max pain for the day? Oh god, max pain is going to be 547, isn't it? Oh no, max pain is 544 for today. Interesting. Solid put to call ratio though, 1.4526. Now the question is, what's max pain for AMC? So that's seen a bounce here. Max pain 450 for AMC. So we'll see if they're able to land it right spot on to max pain like they did last time. A lot of calls in this thing. My goodness. Like 100,000. Whoa, that increased. There's 100,000 open interest at the 20 call strike now. Wow, what's GME? Did GME gain some ground at that 30 call strike? Oh my god, 101,000 call open interest for calls at the 125 strike. Interesting. Max pain 2250 though. Weird. Maybe some institutions getting involved here because that's a lot. That is a lot. All right, what are you guys chatting about? Yeah, that's the GME 125 strike price. It has like over 100,000 open interest for calls at 125. Oh god, just remember, like with this stuff, if you want to see even a gamma squeeze, you probably got to get above 37.26, right? These are our weekly ranges. This is where you see crazy stuff happen. It's over that line for this week, according to the options market. I'm just calculating it, right? But this is saying over the dude, I'm getting phone call after phone call. Are people calling me? Like, thing is, ever since this GME and AMC thing started, I keep getting texts and phone calls all the time from like friends being like, should I buy this? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, I'll tell you about the problem and you can watch my YouTube to learn how to look at the charts, but I can't tell you to buy or sell anything. So this right here, 37.26, you got to get above that. And then for AMC, it's right on 599. Okay, this bar's about to complete. Let's see if that bar completes and if you're able to keep going. You're taking back the little trend here. I'm about to put my house on that. Oh god, I wouldn't do that. Because these like other hedge funds, that'll be a cheap price for them. They can just be like, hey, if something crazy happens, we'll get rich, right? We'll be really, really well for our hedge fund. Other hedge funds are fighting the current ones shorting it, right? People don't understand that either. There are other hedge funds who are making the opposite play of the short sellers right now. Institutions and things like that. Tesla. Let's go look at Tesla. This one here, you see the close below the 9. Now we start to go down. We'll see if we pop back up. But as of right now, that's pointing to downside. 2 hour hasn't curled over yet with that divergence, but sometimes that 30-minute divergence for this double top up here, you see how it's kind of double top like. You can see the 2 hour actually start to roll over from that. We shall see. I probably got to hop off in like, I'll try to go another 30 minutes. All right, NVIDIA starting to curl up again. 5 minutes left in the bar, so this is confirming upside as of right now. We'll see if that's a little stronger, but that's not the strongest bar. 30 minutes been real wonky. You're still in a bullish market though, so even Tesla, it's like, yeah, that could roll over the 2 hour, but oh, you're welcome. No assumptions. I just hate when people come in and tell me they had some big losses. I don't like to hear that, and I know that managing risk is the hardest part about trading in the market. And sometimes I'm like, you know, I hear that and it makes me feel like these videos aren't helpful for some people. And so, you know, I want to encourage them, hey, bigger time frames, bigger time frames, bigger time frames. Makes me feel bad. I'm an empath. I immediately feel bad when someone comes in and says that, like immediately. Because it's happened to me. It's happened to me. I've lost a bunch of money in the market too. But every opportunity I can, I try to learn. And I think that's the best thing you can tell someone is like, you keep learning. Keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. Volatility starting to cross up here. We'll see what happens. June 21st calls. Does he have new ones or no? He doesn't have new ones. So he already got rid of those calls, which could tell you like he's not as confident by that date for the calls, but I think his plan was to execute the entire time to see how liquid they would be. And I already wrote out the plan for what I think he is doing. I just don't want to share that too much on the internet. I don't want them to be aware of what he's doing in any way. I don't want to, like, even if there's a 1% or a 0.1% chance that someone is a short seller and watching this, I don't want them to take that info in case I'm right. But I think it would make sense if he made a new position. Ooh, that could just be a retest. We're not really taking it back now. NVIDIA makes up 32% of the S&P and 500's revenue. So if they do bad, the whole S&P does bad. And 40% of the SPY is built up from Microsoft, Apple, and NVIDIA. So if any of those three, if they start to do bad at the same time, well then you're going to see some big, big downside in the SPY if they start to perform bad. They're not performing that bad right now. At least, you know, Apple's seeing a pullback, but at the same time, NVIDIA goes up. They can just have one go up and one go down, and guess what? The SPY remains flat. That's what they do. Why did I get tired all of a sudden? I don't like being tired. That's a dip. See, it's just controlled. It seems too controlled. When you cross over, you want to see that start to ramp up just a little bit so you can force it to go negative. It's not ramping up at all. 2 hours about to cross though. We haven't see how we haven't closed below the 9 at all, so that shouldn't even give you a hint there right now. This could just be a fake out. This might not be. This might not be. That's crossing with the divergence across the way. Multiple point divergence here for Google. Daily scale already red, so that might be a rejection right there. This is where you got to keep your eye on these little guys here, because these are the things that are causing so much like craziness. It's causing them to force NVIDIA and Apple to extend their bubble, right? I think if this wasn't going on, we would have hit the same levels. We just would have pulled back first. But this is going on, so I think they're forcing it higher and using it to pay for it. And once they have to pay for it, I think that's really what could cause like NVIDIA, Apple, and Microsoft to all drop off. We've already seen the drop off in Bitcoin, so I think they're already liquidating some Bitcoin. There's a guy on, I had to unfollow him. There's a guy on Twitter. He posts like a bullish thing every 30 minutes, and I'm just like, dude. We see Bruce. You want to see Bruce? Bruce, you want to come here? He's sleeping. He's sleeping. Alan, you want to come here? Al, pal. Come here. You want to say hi, Al? Oh, now Bruce wants to come. Here, they want to say hi. You want to say hi? There's the Bruce. He's cool looking. big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy. Yeah, you're big. Alan, come here. Come here, Alan. Alan doesn't want to go because of Bruce. Alan's not a big Bruce fan. Bruce is stinky. All right, Alan, come here. Bruce, let him by. Alan. Come here. Mr. Alan. Alan's a good boy. Seeing if he'd turn. I'd show you guys, but this place is a mess. We still haven't had time to, like, we got it pretty much together. We got her, like, pig set up. We got the rug. We got the table up. But it's just, like, now, because baby girl's been very sensitive, so we've been keeping the dogs, like, down here for probably, like, half the day with me. It's just, Alan sheds like a beast. That tail slap, no joke, yeah. I had a lab growing up where I would come home from school and there'd be blood all over the walls. Her tail wagged so hard it would bleed all over the walls. That was Lily. She was a happy, happy yellow lab. God, she was an idiot. I love dumb dogs. Like, dumb but smart. Like, they know how to sit and do all that stuff, but they're a dog. I have to tell that to my wife all the time. I'm like, you don't like Bruce, but he's a dog. Alan's, like, smart, so he doesn't seem really like a dog. Bruce is a dog. He acts like a dog. All right, this actually did curl up. Now you got to see if GME can follow. Yo, how many texts am I getting today? Don't like Bruce, he stinks. Yeah, that's, you sound like my wife. She's like, he smells. I'm gonna give him a bath on over the weekend. AM Dizzle. That's not at the weekly range, is it? I don't think so. I think it's like 151. Yeah, it's lower. Yeah, that doesn't even look good, actually. 2 hour, yeah, you don't even have divergence on 2 hour now. AMD kind of dumping there. Yo, who is messaging? How often do you brush your teeth? Twice a day. Do they look gross? I hate my teeth. My teeth are my insecurity. I still have baby teeth. So if I didn't brush them twice a day, probably my baby teeth would have fallen out by now. I don't have permanent teeth behind them. Oh, their teeth. That makes a lot more sense. They don't have, like, stinky breath. Sorry, guys. I thought you were wondering about my hygiene. My bad. Dude, okay, I'm gonna turn off these notifications. Give me a sec, guys. I'm turning off these notifications. I can't do it anymore. The boys, I think we brush, like, Alan and Bruce, probably, like, honestly, we probably should do it more, but it's like once every, like, 3 months. Toby we brush often because he's got, like, rotting, like, he's an old man, so. Okay, who is messaging me a million times? All right, this chat right here. You, group details. Where's the notifications? There we go. Do not show them. Awesome. What? That's okay. Okay, these are my old roommate group details. Toby we brush like once a month though. But they don't really have stinky breath. Like the big boys don't have stinky breath, but we probably still should brush them more, honestly. Okay, there. We turned off all the notifications. I had a group chat of a bunch of bros asking me to go play golf. I don't think I've ever flossed their teeth. I'm gonna be genuine about that. All right, there we go. Let's see if this will adjust eventually. There we go. All right. Watching a 1 minute video seems hard resistance at roughly 133.50. It just keeps rejecting. Well, that bar completed, right? That bar did cross up, so this says upside is the most likely scenario here right now for NVIDIA. Let me look at this position real quick. So this one, no, I think I keep everything the same still, right? Yeah, I think I keep everything the same for now. I think I just scale in. My wife got me the course for Father's Day. That's so cute. That's so awesome. Hoping to do that this week. Yeah, get through it this week. I'm gonna add investing to it soon. Probably by like maybe Sunday I can get that done. But that's so cute. Oh my god, that's freaking cute. That's so awesome. Hey, good luck with it. If you have some questions, come back live, ask questions about it if you got some. It's nice to hear people who take the course who have questions, and people would like to hear that live too. Just tell the group more. I do have baby teeth. I don't want to show you guys my teeth up close because it's the thing I'm self-conscious about, because I have 2 beaver chompers. Look at those things. They're freaking massive. Then I have 2 baby teeth, and I have 1 crooked tooth right here. Right here in the bottom. New York? My wife's from New York, by the way. Well, New Jersey, but mostly, New York. AMC price action on daily, it has been 633. I just did price action since today, and it comes to 620. So I think 6 is doable. Yeah, that's really what you want to get above. And see how now we turn up. There you go. NVIDIA starting to go positive. It's literally just turns up, positive territory. Okay, positive move. Now we got to be careful because this thing has really been just going pretty vertical here. If you really zoom out, you're like, geez. The last time we went this vertical was when we started to go sideways. We could go sideways. That would be a good one. That would be a consolidation with time. If you didn't know, that's what technically a sideways pullback would be considered, a pullback of time, using time, something like that. An LGO. Ooh. Well, if you think this is a monster play, we got to curl up on a 30-minute, first of all. Now, a good sign that you're going to do that, actually, as you cross above the 9, but you're below the 200, so take that with a grain of salt. But yes, I think you're correct in saying, like, hey, this does have does it have divergence? It doesn't have divergence. That's kind of a bummer. 2 hours pretty far from the center line. Daily just crossed that. You got daily momentum with you, so that 30-minute cross is fully up. That would be a good sign. You're already up how much here? Holy crap. From the low up 30%. Solid move there. NVIDIA crossing up on a Tuesday. Palantir, what a move. What a move. Positive territory above this. You just go, bam. Okay, cool. This thing go up, right? Yes, it does. Solid play, though. 4.5% play right there. That is enough for a double on a month-out option. That is solid. Okay, AMC did cross up. GME, you need to cross up, dude. You need to get above this. Get above these moving averages, but also just cross up. Then you can go positive. HPE. Is that this right here? Ooh, that is a run up. Now this thing just keeps running up, right? Damn, when's the last thing this thing saw a daily pullback? I mean, solid pullback, but see, this is what this is like can come. Like, you see how once we go really high, this is considered a strong move. Bop. Earnings. Bop. Solid, but I would still need that daily to pull back. 2 hour, you got some wonky divergence here. You're still far away from the center line, but a 2 hour pullback would be great. GME just went negative. Are they fighting GME or what? Oh yeah, let's do this. I feel like this data has been skewed. Yeah, it's still high up. See, this one's low. But I guess for AMC, technically, like that one was massive. 121 million, that was massive. Interesting. Yeah, you need that daily to turn up. Once that daily turns up, you're kind of in business, but that could just gap higher at some point. Could go lower though. All right. Any news on Robinhood? Is that what you're talking about? Ew, good divergence though on a 30-minute. Wish I had a weekly range. Was this Friday? When was the Friday close? Right there. You might be at a weekly range right now. It's a solid little divergence there. Boom. Little 30-minute divergences, especially above the 200 here. Good shot. We go bullish again on the 2 hour. If that can gain some steam. You know, you still need things to cross, go positive. You're a little bit far away, but if that can cross, that'd be a good sign. We'll see though, that's kind of dropping pretty dramatically. Has that crossed on a daily? Yeah, I'm probably not fighting daily momentum still. Because this could just be some kind of little pop and then just do this over time. AM sizzles. Okay, these are starting to get fought. You see, once it's like, oh, momentum's going to be with you, it just needs to go positive, it always gets fought. Right here, fought. Right here. Now it could even go a little bit higher. It's fought. GameStop. Yeah, they're still fighting this thing. I wonder what they do with the off day. Yeah, it's very, very close to. Look at that. Curls up. Positive territory once again. Boom. I'm going to scale in, though. I decided not to move any positions because I could scale in if I see this pop up, and by end of day, maybe I see a little bit of a 30-minute drop down here. Good opportunity for me to be like, okay, I can scale in with that now. It's getting closer to the center line. You see how all these divergences up here are far away? So I want it to be closer. This would be as close as I'm going to get, I think. Up. Curls up, curls down. Okay, second scale in. And then if it gives me a third one, I'll scale in a third time. I took out a longer position. Small positions only. Small positions only. It's funny though, like the technical side of things sometimes calls when something's gonna happen. I wonder if Roaring Kitty tweets soon. Alright, we warned people about the downside here. That's good. Awesome. You don't need to look at AMD. It's starting to see a slight bounce now. We are not rolling over. See, this looks kind of flaggy from the SPY. Like it just does not look like it can come down. That's why it's like this type of stuff with the 9. And that's just rocketing up while all the other things are down. Look at all the red here. It's just like Netflix and Nvidia. Okay, we're gonna go higher now for the SPY maybe. Or maybe other things are starting to catch a bid. Was it energy? Yeah, energy seeing a little pop. Financials seeing a big pop, so financials able to help out there. And then someone had a biotech, right? Materials dropping off. Is this? Oh no, that's still falling down. Good little 30-minute divergence, but I don't have weekly moves or anything for this. XLU starting to bounce as well, outside of that weekly expected move. Pretty much it's like if XLU drops another like 5%, then you know something bad's happening. Apple really dropping off here. They had some not so good news, right? Come out towards the end of yesterday. Can't remember what it was, but looks like SPY's gonna go up, try to test that weekly expected move again. Are the Qs, have they even got there yet? No, the Qs built down. So now 15-minute curls up. You could see that daily expected move upside hit. That might be enough to get the SPY to go up towards 550. Interesting. Interesting. Amazon, that's a pretty significant drop there. Crossed over. We could see for double bottom if that wants to turn around. You see it's close to the center line, but not looking the best for Amazon. Nvidia's carrying. It's just putting everything on its back. Look at all the red. It's just putting all of it on its back right now. That's where it's scary. It's like one stock. If that one stock performs badly, then it's not going to be good. GameStop's still not able to curl up. AMC starting to see that resistance come in as well. We'll have to check it out, but I think for now, I need to probably get some lunch or something. It's starting to slow down. I need like a pop or something. I say pop, I don't say soda. But all right, guys, I'm gonna hop off for now. Like I said, every single night I'm making a YouTube video for you guys. Okay, so every single night we'll have a YouTube video up. If something crazy starts to happen, I might go live, but I don't think anything crazy will happen today. I think that would most likely go into options expiration on Friday. So we'll pay attention to that. But for now, I just wanted to maybe go say hi to baby girl, enjoy some lunch with baby mama, and see what happens with the rest of these trades, work on some other stuff a little bit. So I appreciate you guys being here. I really do. Thank you guys for listening to my rants about, you know, monthly charts and how it's much simpler to invest that way. I think that would save a lot of people who have realized, like, hey, maybe I'm just not the best at the shorter time frames, or maybe you're just sick of, you know, trading this type of price action. This is just what you get in the stock market right now until we go into a bear market. Once we go into a bear market, I'm pretty good at catching those swings. So I'm pretty good at just, like, calling out when it's just going to be a dead cat bounce, or calling out whether it's actually going to be some kind of squeeze, some kind of bear market squeeze. That'd be good. So yeah, just pay attention to that course right now. It's only $100, okay, for all of June. So if you get that, say thank you to your wife for purchasing that for you. I hope you like it. I think that's a pretty awesome gift, some kind of gift that actually like dedicates you to some learning. Maybe you're excited about it. That's so awesome. Let me know what you think. But I just want to say thank you guys for joining today. I really do appreciate it. You know I would stay longer if I could, but I'm going to go touch grass for a little bit. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining today. I wish you nothing but luck for the rest of the day with all of your trading, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you enjoy that the market will be closed tomorrow. I'm kind of sketched out by that. I feel like they're going to do something wonky with the day off, but we'll see. We have options expiration where I think like over $3 trillion is on the line for Friday's expiration. So watch out. We could see some big price swings, but from my experience with options expiration that big, it's usually like the week after you start to see some funky behavior, or towards the very end of the day, you start to see some weird behavior. So we'll pay attention to that going forward. I'll still put out a YouTube video for you guys. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that tonight. I'll make a YouTube video for you guys tonight since the market's closed tomorrow. We probably won't talk about too much tomorrow, but Thursday we'll have another video for you, and on Patreon we'll have the daily expected moves going into that options expiration. So we'll see if there's some big implied volatility. All right, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. If something crazy happens, I'll hop back on. All right, see you guys.